What is going on, guys? Jason Brick here, Styles Clash for life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers last night played the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football in Week 14 of the NFL season, and we're coming off of a really solid win against the Ravens, a good divisional win against a team who was considered the best record in the AFC. Momentum was on our side. We were getting healthier. It seemed like Pittsburgh had rebounded from that horrible Cincinnati loss we had a few weeks ago. Got a big divisional win. Cincinnati came off a loss, so we're like, oh, everything is lining up in the Steelers' favor. Enter the Minnesota Vikings last night. Pittsburgh goes to Minnesota to play a Thursday night game, and we lose the game 36-28. Now, I'll bring you guys some really quick coverage. Sorry it's so late, but I went home and went to bed last night. It was a late game that went long, so I came back and went to sleep, and here we are the next morning. By the time this gets posted, it'll be Friday afternoon, but I'll be quick here. Pittsburgh is one of the most inconsistent teams in the world. Even with all their injuries, which you can understand, they've still got a lot of talent. They've still got a high ceiling for potential. They've still got a veteran quarterback, and they're still were one of the favorites in the wildly inconsistent AFC. The AFC is stacked full of mid-range, up-and-down teams, and Pittsburgh was right in the thick of things. And I think as of last night, that is over now. I think based on what happens this week, Pittsburgh is out of the playoffs. I'm not willing to say it's the end of their season just yet, but based on the way they're playing, it doesn't look promising. Pittsburgh comes out and gets down 29-0 in the first half. Let's repeat that. Because Minnesota, I think, came into this game 5-7, below 500 team, without Adam Thielen, playing without their second best receiver, their veteran receiver. Still came out at 5-7 and still came out 29-0 in the first half on us. Dalvin Cook finished the first half with 165 yards on us, rushing the ball in the first half. This defense, man, both sides of the ball just couldn't get any worse in the first half. We had drops on offense, we had missed field goals on offense, we had bad punts on special teams. We couldn't run the ball on the 31st ranked rush defense, Minnesota. We had nothing going in the first half. Got down 29-0, and as Pittsburgh does, they find a way to make a 29-0 game a nail-biter. Pittsburgh makes every game close. It doesn't matter whether they're playing a 1-10 team or a 10-1 team. Pittsburgh makes every game close. They came out this week down 29 points. If they had come back to win this game, it would have been the largest comeback in regular season history, and they almost did it. They got outscored 29-0 in the first half. They came out in the second half and won the scoring battle 28-7 in the second half and dominated Minnesota almost as bad as Minnesota dominated them. At one point, Pittsburgh, I think, had 11 second half first downs. The Minnesota's won. So Pittsburgh comes out in the second half, starts getting turnovers on defense, and starts getting touchdowns on offense. And all of a sudden, it's a game again, which comes down to the final drive of the game, where Ben throws what could be a game-tying touchdown pass to Freiermuth in the end zone that is in Freiermuth's hands that gets hit and dislodged at the last second. So we are literally one catch away from tying up this 29-point deficit, showing heart in the second half. But again, you shouldn't always wait to the second half to play better. You shouldn't always play down to weaker teams. You should be able to run against a 31st ranked run defense. You should be able to protect your quarterback better. There's a lot of reasons why we lost this game. I'm going to get into a few of them right now. Before we even get into stats, I'm going to get into reasons why we lost this game. I want to give some... First of all, the negative credit goes to this offensive line once again. I've said before, it is our single biggest reason for not being good on offense. My goodness, they showed us a lot of reasons tonight. Kendrick Green. I've said before, when he pulls and he becomes a pulling guard kind of guy for the reverse plays, the end arounds, the jet sweeps, the just sort of the long handoff kind of plays. He always does a good job at pulling and blocking on the run. When he's stationary at center, the guy has a hard time blocking. He gets pushed back in the backfield constantly. He's not snapping the ball now. Earlier in the season, he was snapping the ball too low and too high. Now he's not snapping the ball. We had 3 or 4 different delay of game penalties where the clock ran out. And Ben was clapping and hiking his knee and throwing his hands and trying to get Kendrick Green to snap the frickin' ball. And Kendrick Green, with 9 seconds on the play clock, would not snap the ball. So we got delay of games with 9 seconds remaining. 4 different times, I believe, last night. Kendrick Green didn't snap the ball. He's an absolute liability. He's not progressing. He's not showing any growth. His only upside is on those blocks while he's on the run. When he's stationary, he can't snap, he can't pass block, he can't run block. Dan Moore, another guy. Just like Green last night, getting penalties too much. He's holding way too much. He's getting blown up way too much. Like, Ben got sacked, I think, 5 times last night, and 4 of those times, as soon as he caught the ball, it'd be a third down play, and as soon as he caught the ball on third down, he'd turn back and get smacked in the head by somebody. He was going to get killed out there. Between his mental frustration with the center snaps and his physical getting blown up by Trey Turner and Dan Moore, he's going to explode. He's going to turn into a bag of bones and a pile of ash. You're destroying your quarterback out there. Trey Turner is not working out for us. He was a veteran pickup once DeCastro retired late. I thought it was a good signing at the time because he was coming off a few Pro Bowl years, even though he had been injured previously. And my God, he's not working out. Zach Banner can barely get on the field. He got signed 2 years ago to a 2-year contract. He got hurt at the start of last year and missed the entire year. He got hurt at the start of this year. And in both years, they brought Chuks Okorafor in to start for him, and Chuks has been terrible. He had another holding call last night. Banner can't get on the field. Chuks is no better. They're both bad. They're both bad. Like, I'm not one to say, like, pull the ripcord, pull the eject button, and get rid of everyone right away, but Trey Turner has no future here at all. Zach Banner has no future here. His contract's up at the end of this year. He should be gone. Chuks Okorafor, I think, is on the last year of his deal. He had 2 years to start on 2 different positions, a tackle left and right, to show us what he could do. He can do nothing. Kevin Dotson has been our best guard all year, the only guy I trust, and he's been hurt for most of the year now. Our best lineman in the last several weeks since he's been hurt has been John LeGlue. If you don't know who John LeGlue is, welcome to the rest of the country, because no one does. John LeGlue has been the only one trying to do anything. B.J. Finney's been in and out. He's been hurt. There's been nobody on this line to trust besides John LeGlue. That tells you right there. If he is the LeGlue to this offensive line, it needs pulled apart and thrown away. Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, I've been praising all season long. He's caught everything. He's made difficult sideline catches. He's been reliable in the end zone. I've loved what he's done this season. Last week, he dropped a wide-open long bomb touchdown. This week, he dropped 2 more. One was right in his hands. Ben threw the ball right to him, and he dropped it clear as day in the back of the end zone on the left corner. The second one, Ben overthrew it, was too high. Johnson tried to kind of overextend his hands, and it still hit him in the hand, though. So, yeah, it was kind of uncatchable, and Deontay made a good jump for it. But if it hits you in the hand, you got to bail your quarterback out in a situation like this. So, one definite drop in the end zone, another drop in the regular field of play, and another questionable one in the end zone. So that is now 2 to 3 end zone drops in the last 2 weeks that are clearly open. 2 that are wide open, 1 that's kind of and another drop on the sideline. So he's gone from 1 drop in this entire season to now 3 or 4 more in the last 2 games, especially end zone plays. You cannot drop those balls. He's got so much talent. He's quick. He runs routes well. He breaks tackles. I love this guy. He's explosive, and he could be a star, but you have to catch the ball, especially in end zone situations. Chase Claypool. What in the world? Chase Claypool has become a liability at his maturity. When it comes to his off-the-ball penalties, his holding downfield, his taunting penalties, his after-the-play personal fouls like he had last night, he just booped the guy in the head with 1 finger, but it's right in front of the referee and it's right to the face. So you know they're going to call it. He has way too many of these. Holding and taunting penalties, immature, and he cannot run routes. He still to this day is only good for a couple quick slants if he gets open off the ball, which is rare, or he goes for the down the sideline 50-50 jump balls, which he's good at catching. He's good at those, but that's all he can do. Aside from running streaks down the field and the occasional when he gets open on a slant communication problem, he's off the page with Ben. He's running the wrong routes. He and Ben aren't on the same page. There's no chemistry. All he can do is run down the sidelines. He's not getting open down the sidelines, even though he makes tough catches. He's not getting open on other routes, and he's not running his routes well. He needs to work on his game, and he needs to work on his attitude. Neither one is great. Defensively, again, second half, only 7 points allowed. Great job. First half, 29 points. To an offense that's not bad, but they're not special, and they weren't playing with Adam Thielen. One of their big guys is out. Justin Jefferson had 72 yards and a touchdown and dropped 2 more in the end zone that were open. He was torching Cameron Sutton all night. We'll talk about Sutton in a second. Justin Jefferson had 72 yards and a touchdown, easily could have had another 40, 50 yards and 2 more touchdowns. He dropped 2 in the end zone that he should have caught. We got lucky. He's one of the best in the league, and he victimized us. Dalvin Cook. Again, like 160-something yards in the first half, finished with 205 rushing yards. Minnesota as a whole, I think, had 220 on the day. Again, Dalvin Cook is great. Minnesota's a solid offense. Dalvin Cook's really good. But for him to have those lanes that he had, our front three have to be put in check. Cam Hayward's great. I'm not going to talk about Cam Hayward. He's been the star of this team. He's the only one that stayed healthy and played up front. We have two big injuries with Alualu and Tuitt being out. And we even had another backup today because we had, who was playing inside? We had another injury inside. Wormley played on and off. Someone else got hurt. I forget who. And we had another backup to a backup playing today. So third stringer on the line. But we are getting no pressure. We're getting no sacks up front. We're getting no running lanes up front. There were gaping holes so big that my disabled ass, I have CP, and I walk very, very slowly with bad balance, and I could have walked my ass through the hole alongside Helen Keller as my lead blocker to get to the frickin' end zone. There are holes 10 miles wide that the Pittsburgh potholes down here are dug down in the city. People could have walked through that, blindfolded, backwards, with bad legs to get to the end zone. Dalvin Cook is great, but he didn't have to earn any of that. That was wide open. Inside linebackers, not covering once again. The tight ends, the slots, burning our guys. Madison, Cook, out of the backfield. Devin Bush. Where the hell is Devin Bush? He's not only, we knew that he was going to be a problem covering when he came out of college. But we said, okay, he's smart, he's fast, he's a great tackler. All he has to do is work on his coverage. He's going to improve. Since the injury, not only has his coverage gotten actually worse, but his tackling is horrible. And his gap assignments are horrible. He's not staying at home. He's making the wrong assignment. He's choosing the wrong gap. He's getting blown up by the first guy. He's missing tackles. He's still not covering. He's doing nothing out there. Devin Bush has been a liability. And Joe Schobert is not looking much better. Schobert led the team in tackles yesterday. I think he had 5 tackles. He has his moments. He's flashing a lot more than anybody else on the defense, but he's still not looking very good to me. Let's get to the stats real quick before I explode. Big Ben, his stats look good, but it was all second half stuff. 28 of 40, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. The pick was bad. Terrible throw by Ben on the pick. But 308 and 3 touchdowns. Looked really good in the second half. Found a lot of guys in the middle of the field. Could have been much more, again, if Deontay didn't drop a couple of those touchdowns. Could have been even better. Freiermuth also dropped the game-tying touchdown as well, even though he was hit. Good coverage. So Ben could have easily had 4 or 5 touchdowns with 400 yards. Najee Harris, first half nothing, second half really good. Same as last week, he gets better as time goes on. And the Vikings were up by 29 playing the pass, so Najee got more lanes and more opportunities. Najee Harris, 20 carries, 94 yards and a touchdown, plus 3 catches for 10 yards and a receiving touchdown, so 2 TDs on the day for Najee. Nice second half running. Claypool leads the stats, but like I said, it was mostly garbage time stuff. He didn't do much. 8 catches, 93 yards. Deontay had 5 for 76. Should have had 140 and 2 touchdowns. James Washington, my guy, finally got in there. They're playing Ray McLeod as the slot guy for some reason. He was playing as the third receiver for a while. Washington wasn't getting enough targets once again. But just like I said it before, put Derek Watt in the game at fullback and play him. Play James Washington. There's a good reason now. Claypool's not running his routes well. Claypool's immature and getting penalties. And Juju's out for the season. We need another receiver to step up besides Deontay. Put Washington out there as the number 2. Let Claypool play as the number 3. See if Claypool can get open on the third guys. Washington can run routes better than Claypool. He has better hands. He is more diverse. And he's more mature. Give this guy the chance. Thank you. Washington, 4 catches, 65 yards, and a wonderful touchdown catch. He's made some very nice plays. 2 great catches in this game. Give this guy more of a chance. Watt, Washington, put those guys in. Freiermuth got a touchdown as well on a nice play where he ran a good route and a guy fell down, but did miss the game-tying touchdown. I've already talked about Kendrick Green in the O-line and Claypool. Defensively, Akilo Witherspoon, excellent job. 2 interceptions, 2 nice picks. Read the ball well. He didn't get victimized too much on defense. I didn't see him getting burnt too much like the other guys were. He got 2 nice interceptions that brought us back in the game. 2 of our defensive stops that caused our rally, and returned 1 about 40, 50 yards downfield as well. So Witherspoon, good pickup there. He played well. Joe Hayden, once again, was injured, did not play. He's become a liability on the injury front. Cam Sutton got burnt so bad so many times today. On the play where the second receiver that played today went down there. KJ, I forget his name. KJ Osborne. Got like a 60-something yard play where he was in good position, but he had bad technique. He looked back at the ball kind of late. He went up and missed the guy, and Osborne got a 60-something yard touchdown to put the Vikings ahead too far for us. So that was all on him. He got burnt all day long. Jefferson was torching him. He was missing tackles. He was just looking terrible. Sutton is a very good slot corner. I loved him last year when he was playing as the 3/4 slot with Mike Hilton. Good slot cover corner, not a good outside corner. We got to get Hayden back healthy, and we got to get Sutton back in the slot. Put somebody else in there. I don't care if you take a shot on Justin Lane at this point. I don't care if it's Witherspoon. I don't care if it's somebody else. But we got to put him back on the inside. Marcus Allen played a lot at the inside linebacker spot. We got a lot of inside linebacker injuries. Also on the outside, T.J. Watt left and didn't come back for a lot of it, so there was no sacks on the defense at all. No splash plays besides the 2 picks. Also didn't see Highsmith play a lot in the second half, injuries. So we have guys like Tuska and a bunch of random guys out there. Marcus Allen played for the first time this year with extended time. He got beat quite a bit. He didn't play very well. So having Bush and Allen out there didn't do very well for us. Schobert's inconsistent. The outside linebackers are hurt the whole time, so we're playing a bunch of backups that I have no idea who they are. Buddy Johnson and Ulysses Gilbert for some reason can't get on the field, so the defense gets beat. So nice rally by the Steelers in the second half, but they still fell short. You can't rely on the defense to go out there and score 36 consecutive points, so the defense has to improve. Offensive line's got to improve. Run game got to start earlier. Receivers got to catch the ball. Inside linebackers have to cover. Outside linebackers and outside corners have to get better and stay healthy. So that's all for now. Pittsburgh loses and goes to 6-6-1, I think it is. 5-5-1, 6-6-1, whatever the hell. We are on the verge of being out of the playoffs. We have to get better. Take care, Steeler fans.